Well, the UK Border Force have announced that they are going on strike during Christmas time, and a lot of people are asking, will anybody actually notice? Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. Border Force. Border what? Do we have a border? Do we have Border Force? They are planning to go on strike, although jokes aside, it's mostly the airports like Heathrow and all those places where the Border Force members and us staff actually do a good job. It's not the same as around Kent and the English Channel. But again, the point stands because a lot of people are asking, well, what is the point of actually essentially signing up to a job that is supposed to be protecting the national interest and national security, and yet you're basically saying, well, because of course the cost of living crisis and everything else, if you don't give me higher salary, and by you, they're talking about the taxpayer because the employers of these people are the taxpayers. People say government. Government doesn't have money. It's your money that they're paying, of course. Now they say, well, because of that, I'm going to basically just go against everything that I signed up to and say, I don't care about national security. I'm going to not work, but I'm not going to quit. If you don't like your salaries, leave the job and get a better job. Right now, the employment market in the UK is huge. I don't care if it's politically incorrect or not. It is definitely politically incorrect to say this, but the culture in the Western Europe has become very lazy, very entitled, very demanding. People say, well, I've been in this job for 10 years. What do you want me to do? Like, go do something else? Simple. That's what the Americans did. That's how they made America great at the time. That's why they were explorers. That's why they moved areas. That's why they moved jobs. When they had to, they did it. Now, both sides are creating problems. Government, politicians, and the trade unions, because they all have their own vested interest. This is the schedule that we now have. Look at this. In the month of December, well, every single day we're going to have a strike. Now, again, because of our stupid, idiotic politicians who created this environment by increasing the size of the state up to a point where we don't have money to give in terms of the actual pay rises and salaries, and at the same time the trade unions who have their own socialist agenda, and they're taking advantage of the workers by pretending to be on the side of the workers. Both are lying to you, and some people are falling for it. Some people are definitely falling for either these guys or the other side. Now, Lynch is one of the leaders now of the trade union movement. And you've got, of course, Rishi Sunak, the leader of politicians. Absolutely chaotic situation that we're currently facing in this country. Nobody is willing to tell the truth. When you increase the size of the state, when everything, all sectors becoming a government job, their salaries come from the pockets of taxpayers, the plumbers, the taxi drivers, and everybody else. And when there's a bit of a recession situation or an economic crisis, when we don't have money, how are you going to give the pay rises? Of course they deserve the pay rises. We already know that. But if we don't have the funding, because the funding model is based on big government, you can't do the pay rises, can you? The whole situation is completely crazy because the only option they have is to print more money to give the pay rises, which will result in more inflation. Oh, nobody's willing to listen. It is what it is, but we will continue to fight for Britain and British interests on this channel. Subscribe to the channel. I'm Tousi and we are the media.